This teenager walked into court grinning. But less than an hour later, that same smile vanished the moment Judge Judy said just one sentence, and what she revealed next left the entire courtroom in complete silence. Now listen carefully, because at first, nothing about this case seemed unusual. A teenage boy. Confident, almost too confident. The kind of confidence that doesn't come from innocence, but from believing there will be no consequences. He strolls in like it's a stage, not a courtroom. Shoulders relaxed. Chin slightly raised. A faint smirk sitting on his face like he already knows how this is going to end. And that right there is your first clue, because people who truly understand the weight of courtrooms, they don't behave like this. They don't laugh under their breath. They don't glance around like they're bored. They don't treat justice like entertainment. But this boy did, and not just once. He sits down, leans back, stretches his arms like he's settling into a movie. Not a legal hearing. A few quiet chuckles escape him as he looks towards someone in the gallery. Now notice something critical. His eyes, they're not nervous, they're not scared, they're calculating. This is what psychologists often call detached arrogance, a mindset where someone genuinely believes they are above the situation they're in. And that's dangerous, because it means they're not preparing for consequences. They're preparing to win. But here's the twist no one saw coming. Across the room, sitting quietly in the front row, was a woman. No dramatic movements, no loud reactions, just stillness, her hands tightly clasped together, her eyes fixed on him. And if you looked closely enough, you'd notice something unsettling. She wasn't angry, she wasn't even surprised. She looked tired, like someone who had already lived through the truth everyone else was about to discover. Now pause here for a second, because this is where things start to feel different. Most courtroom cases begin with noise. Arguments, accusations, tension building loudly. But this one? It started with silence, the kind of silence that hides something deeper, something uncomfortable, something personal. And then, the courtroom doors opened, all conversations stopped instantly, every head turned, and in walked Judge Judy, sharp eyes, controlled steps, a presence that doesn't ask for authority. It demands it. She takes her seat, doesn't smile, doesn't greet anyone, just looks. And when she looks at the teenager, she pauses, just for a second longer than usual. Now this is important. Judges see hundreds of faces, but when someone pauses like that, it means something caught their attention, something didn't sit right. The boy notices it too. But instead of concern, he smirks. Agin, a quiet laugh escapes him, almost like a challenge, and right there, you can feel the entire courtroom shift, because everyone senses it now. This isn't going to be a normal case. This is going to be a confrontation, a test of ego versus experience. And if you've ever watched Judge Judy, you already know how this usually ends. But here's where things take a turn no one expected. She doesn't start with the case details. She doesn't ask about the incident. Instead, she looks straight at him and asks one simple question, a question so unexpected. It catches him completely off guard, and for the first time since he walked in, the smile on his face flickers, just slightly. But it's enough, because that's the moment everything begins to change. And what she asks next is something that will lead to a truth so shocking that even the people sitting closest to him didn't see it coming. And when that truth comes out, no laughter, no whispers, no movement, just silence, the kind of silence that only happens when reality hits harder than anyone was prepared for. But what exactly did she ask? And why did that one question shake him so deeply? The moment that question left Judge Judy's lips, something shifted, not loudly, not dramatically, but enough for anyone paying attention to feel it. "Who do you think you are?" she asked, calm, controlled, almost surgical in tone. Now, at first, it sounds simple, almost harmless, but psychologically, that's not a question, that's a confrontation, because when someone is operating on arrogance, you don't challenge their actions first. You challenge their identity. And that's exactly what she did. The boy blinks, just once. A tiny pause, then he smirks again, leans forward slightly, elbows on the table like he's about to entertain the room. "Just someone who didn't do anything wrong," he replies, confident, smooth, almost rehearsed. But here's what most people in that room missed. His voice? It was a fraction tighter than before. And that matters, because when confidence is real, it flows naturally. When it's fake, it starts to crack under pressure. And Judge Judy notices everything. She doesn't respond immediately. Instead, she leans back slightly, observing, analyzing, like she's already 10 steps ahead. And yet, She says, tilting her head just enough, "You seem very comfortable for someone in this situation." A few quiet murmurs ripple through the courtroom. The boy shrugs, actually shrugs. "I'm not worried," he says casually. "There's nothing to worry about." Now pause again. Because this right here? Classic overcompensation. When someone insists there's nothing to worry about, it usually means they're trying to convince themselves more than anyone else, but he doesn't realize that. Not yet. Meanwhile, the camera cuts back to the woman in the front row. Her fingers tighten, her breathing shifts, just slightly. She knows something. You can see it. And here's where the tension deepens, because this isn't just a legal case anymore. This is personal, very personal. Back at the bench, Judge Judy flips through a file slowly, deliberately, every page turn echoing louder than it should, and then she stops, looks up, direct eye contact. "And your name?" she asks. Now this is interesting, because she already knows his name. It's in the file, it's been submitted. So why ask? Simple. It's a psychological tactic. When someone says their own name out loud in a high-pressure situation, it forces them to confront themselves. The boy hesitates, just for a split second, but it's there. Then he answers. The name echoes through the courtroom, and something about it makes Judge Judy pause again, longer this time. Her eyes narrow slightly, not in confusion, but in recognition. Now this is where things get unsettling, because recognition means history, and history means this case didn't start today. She flips another page, then another. Her expression doesn't change, but the energy does, the kind of energy that makes people sit up straighter without knowing why. "Interesting," she mutters quietly, too quietly for most to hear, but the microphone catches it, and suddenly, everyone is paying closer attention. The boy notices the shift. His smirk fades just a little. "Is there a problem?" he asks, trying to regain control of the moment. But control? It's already slipping, because Judge Judy doesn't look at him when she answers. She looks back down at the file and says something that no one in that courtroom was expecting. "No, not a problem," she says calmly. A pattern. Silence. Complete silence. Now think about that word for a second. Port, that doesn't just suggest one mistake. That suggests history, repeated behavior, something deeper than a single incident. And the moment that word lands, you can actually see it. The shift in his posture, the way his shoulders stiffen, the way his jaw tightens just slightly. Because now, this isn't just about innocence. This is about something else entirely, something bigger. And then, she turns another page, slowly, deliberately, and asks the one question that changes everything. A question about his family, a question no one expected, a question that makes the woman in the front row close her eyes. And the moment she asks it, the boy's expression finally breaks, not fully, not yet, but enough to reveal something hiding underneath, something real, something he wasn't prepared to face. And what that question uncovers isn't just about him. It's about where he comes from and why this case was never going to be simple.